Sports with your host Jay Pops. Guys, we're here. We're here, man. This is a really big day. This is the start of the College World Series. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. I just remember on last year, a lot of you guys came and told me, "Hey, man, when are you going to start doing the podcast on the baseball and things of that nature, man?" And it's crazy to imagine that right when I wanted to pick the year in which I told you guys I was going to start doing a podcast on it was the year of the slosh era. And to get this opportunity and witness this opportunity with this Aggie team, witness the ride and the journey that they've been on to get all the way up to the College World Series is remarkable to me, man. I couldn't have seen it any other way at all. Like I said, man, this is game one. This will probably be the most watched College World Series ever because it's a lot of people like myself that is about to watch my first ever College World Series, period. All right, I told you guys a long time ago, I'm not a diehard baseball fan by any means, but when I'm into something, then I'm into something. And when I'm into it, I usually gravitate to other people, and then everybody else start getting into it. My wife didn't watch a lick of baseball. You hear me? Didn't watch a lick of baseball at all. All of a sudden, my wife knows most of the guys on the A&M baseball team now. Do you not know how big that is? So this is the reason to why many of the people around the world, many of the fan bases around the world, calls Texas A&M a cult. Because once you're in, you're in. It's hard to leave. It's very hard to leave. So I've had fun watching this team, and to say that I'm an A&M fan, and now as a fan and an Aggie, period, man, I get to witness this team get put on a whole nother stage in which they haven't been to since 2017. And now, to be honest with you, we all may get to witness this team win their first ever College World Series game since 1993, man. Do you not know how long ago that is? That's almost 20 years ago. No, I'm sorry, that's almost 30 years ago. 30. Since we've even won a game there. So of course we're going up against OU. And OU is going to play their hearts out, man. They're going to play their freaking hearts out. I'm going to ride with what I know for sure, in which is this A&M baseball team. And I'm going to ride with the energy. All right? I'm going to ride with the energy until the wheels fall off. This is, and I'm going to have to come out and speak about this too. This is the decade in which Texas A&M athletics, period, can stamp their names on the mountain and say, no, we were a part of that championship decade. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that A&M is going to, win the entire decade. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that we're about to witness something special. And a lot of you guys love to say, "Oh, well, man, I've heard this before from several Aggies." You've never heard this from me. Understand what I'm telling you. This isn't the same Texas A&M team that you guys feel like you all know. Even my older Aggies don't know this Texas A&M team anymore. And what I mean by that is, I mean that in a good way. They see something that they've never, ever seen before, period, man. Josh Childress, I believe that's the old ball coach. Josh Childress, he was a good A&M baseball coach. Don't you get me wrong on that. Made it to a lot of regionals. He was the last coach that took us to the College World Series, but we couldn't win the game there. Sloss, first year, I've seen the track record of Jim Sloss at TCU. I've seen it. He's a winner. He even got on the press conference that they had, College World Series press conference, and he even told everybody, man, I haven't been here in a while. I haven't been here in 5 years. Last time I was here, I can't remember the coach name that he said, but he said, man, he knocked me off the mountain. All right? He knocked me off and he told me there wasn't enough room up here. So this game against Oklahoma, this is what both coaches are saying to each other. It's not enough room up here. Somebody has to go. Somebody has to go. I just don't believe that that's going to be Texas A&M today. So this is what we're looking at. Let's get into some stats here, okay? And we got about 20 minutes worth. So let's get into some stats here. And shout out to Oklahoma, by the way, for just making it. For just making it, man. They got up out of that Virginia Tech regional and made it. Shout out to Notre Dame for just making it. They got up out of that Tennessee regional, in which I was looking at those stats. Somebody please tell me why Tennessee is not here today. Somebody please tell me that. Nobody can tell me that because Notre Dame has taken their place. Shout out to Texas, by the way. Texas made it. The 38 College World Series appearance. And I'm shouting out to all the teams. Just on our side of the bracket. Once again, shout out to Texas. They've made it. About the Eastern Carolina Regional. They did what they had to do. And I was looking at some of the stats again, like I tell you before. The reason why they have Texas picked as winning it all is because if you go and look at this statistical categories, Texas is in the top 30 in almost each and every category. That is crazy to me. The team that's well above head and shoulders of everybody was the Tennessee Volunteers. I was looking at stats again. Notre Dame is right in there in the top 30 as well. That is the reason to why they went into Tennessee and they beat them. They beat them. Tennessee took them lightly. Texas A&M is not going to take Oklahoma lightly today. All right? We're not going to take them lightly at all because we don't need to. The stats prove itself. All right? That's the reason why they went into Virginia Tech and they won. They won at Super Regional, hands down. They got them. So this is what we're looking at. Let's look at a couple of hitters here. The number one name that everybody should know that's at Oklahoma, that's a hitter. And this is the guy that has the RBIs. He's ranked amongst some of the best with the RBIs per game. Peyton Graham. And I heard Ryan Brunninger talk about him as well. Shout out to Ryan, by the way, Texas Aggies. Peyton Graham. All the Oklahoma fans and all the Oklahoma Sooners, period, even if you're the fan of the football team or, whatever, the softball, whichever one is your passion, you know the guys that's on your team in almost every sport. So Oklahoma fans know him. I'm going to say it once again, and you college football diehard fans, you college baseball diehard fans, you all know him as well. Peyton Graham. He's a hitter, man. He's a hitter. Nathan Dettner is going to be the starter for Texas A&M today. All right? Nathan Dettner knows him as well. Jim Sloss knows him. Hell, he coached at TCU. He knows just about everybody on the Oklahoma team. He knows the head coach. This isn't a team he hasn't seen before. All right? Once again, man, you guys have to know this. You got to know this. So Peyton Graham is the guy you got to watch for, RBIs. He's 65th in the nation with RBIs per game. A guy for us, in which we all know and have come to love, Dylan Rock. Dylan Rock has to be the one that shows up for this game today. He has to. He has to show up. Dylan Rock is ranked as the 132nd best player in RBIs per game. All right, he has about 1 RBI per game. What has been our whole MO this entire season? What has it been? Play mind games. Play mind games with the pitcher. Get up there, make them stall out. Play mind game with the coaches, make them stall out. Use most of their pitchers. Next thing you know, A&M is on the run late on the run. So when Oklahoma gets up there, I do believe that Oklahoma is going to be well prepared for it. They're going to be better prepared than any other team that we probably face so far. And I know that for sure. They're going to be arguably prepared for everything that Texas A&M is going to throw out there. All right? I just believe that Texas A&M has a bit more people, not necessarily in the bullpen, but as a hitter that can get out there and swing some bats, whether it's a hit or miss thing. It doesn't matter. They're going to hit it. All right? And this is another guy. Hits per game. Oklahoma and everybody else around the nation knows this little young fella by now. Jack Moss. My wife knows Jack Moss. That's her favorite player on that baseball team. And Jack Moss, the thing about Jack Moss is that Jack Moss brings a certain type of swagger and energy to the game. When he gets up there at bat, I haven't seen a pitcher yet in the Super Regionals that has striked him out. I haven't. Once again, I haven't seen a pitcher yet that has striked out Jack Moss ever since the regionals. We went undefeated in the regionals, and A&M fans have every bit of right to claim that. All right? That was some tough regionals, man. That wasn't no walk in the park for us. All right? That was some tough regionals. So Jack Moss is a guy that I believe that will get out there, and he will be Jack Moss. He will be Jack Moss. Another guy, once again, hits per game, Peyton Graham. We got to watch Peyton Graham, man. We have to get him off of it. So the ranking on Jack Moss is the 11th best hitter per game in the nation. Peyton Graham is tied for 140th best in the nation. Ironically, both of these guys are sophomores. That is truly, truly crazy. All right. The walks per game. And see, man, you guys need to do a lot about this. The walks per game, A&M is 26 in the country. You look down the list here, and I didn't see Oklahoma for some reason, but I know for sure that A&M is 26 in the game, is 26 in the country with walks per game. We get walked a lot, and I've seen this too many times in the regionals where A&M is getting walked to the first base like crazy. Once again, that's a lot of mind games coming from the hitters. That's why it takes us a long time to get on defense. It takes us very long, man, to get on defense. Nathan S., Jack Bennett for OU is going to throw some strikes. We should see some hittable pitches today. 90 to 95 miles. Fastball. Can't wait to see some good swings on that fastball in the zone. And I agree. Once again, man, Oklahoma is not going to be no walk in the park. Anybody who thinks that, well, man, you're in for a rude awakening. Because They're not going to give it to us. Now I went all on Twitter and I said that A&M will win the College World Series in 2022. I said that A&M will win every game by a total of 2 runs. You know? They will win a game by 2 runs. I honestly believe that. So, strikeouts per inning. And this is pretty good here. That's why I believe that our bullpen, they will come out there and be ready. I do believe that our pitching does need to get better. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and act like that's not the truth there. We all know that. But the strikeouts per inning, A&M is 66 in the country. Oklahoma is 73rd. All right, so you guys can take that how you want to take it. All I'm saying is right there is that A&M has the upper hand right there. All right. So stolen bases per game. And this is something that I believe we're going to work on in the offseason. Stolen bases in the game, this is what we're going to have to watch with Oklahoma. They are ranked 10th in the country with stolen bases per game. That's pretty darn good. The last team we went up that was in like the top 30 was Louisville. And they kept on stealing those bases. It was Louisville. All right. So A&M is tied for 79 in the country with stolen bases. So scoring wise, Oklahoma is 42nd in the nation. Texas A&M is 55th in the nation. All right, so we will see a lot of scoring in this game. When I say a lot of scoring, we're going to see maybe like a 6-4 ball game, Texas A&M, in which I'm thinking. I believe that A&M comes out and play the best defense that they've ever played in this entire College World Series. I honestly believe it. So runs, Oklahoma is 20th in the nation. Texas A&M is tied for 42nd in the nation. So home runs per game. Texas A&M is tied for 57th in the nation with about 1 home run per game. Oklahoma is tied for 105th in the nation. All right, so I am hearing that Omaha does have a big ballpark, so it's going to be really, really tough to hit home runs out of that ballpark down there. This is where you're going to see a lot of guys get their draft stock all the way up. You hit several home runs out of that ballpark, you deserve to go to the MLB draft and get drafted very highly. Hits allowed per innings, per 9 innings. Texas A&M is 105th in the nation, and this will be something that will be something to watch for. And me, myself, just as well as you guys, I've seen this all season, and where we give up just too many runs in per inning, man. Per inning, we give up simply too many runs. All right, so, but like I said, I do believe our defense play. The reason why we give up so many runs is because of our errors. We've had a lot of errors in the regionals period. I hope they fix that. I know they fixed it, and we're going to see. Oklahoma's ranking 144th in the nation. All right, so that should help us out a lot. Like I said, Oklahoma is going to come out there with some pretty good pitchers, but I believe we'll be ready for it. Hits, A&M is 51st in the nation. And for whatever reason, I did not see Oklahoma anywhere when I was doing that research on that. So earned runs, Texas A&M is 62nd in the nation. Oklahoma is 124th in the nation. All right, so we have the upper hand there. Some other stats here. So batting average, Oklahoma is 41st in the nation. Texas A&M is 68. So this is why I say a lot of you guys are going to be really pumped, including myself. And I have to get on up out of here because I have to take my little girl to work. I wanted to do this show way earlier, but I had to sit down and I had to get a lot of stats. And you guys already know by now, I've just had my baby girl, so I really kind of had to sit down, get some coffee, stuff like that. I got to make sure she's taken care of, although she's been asleep, But I love bringing the baby in, just to make that an excuse. But I had to get a couple of stats and everything, so I will be stopping by Academy and picking me and my family up some merchandise, some annual merchandise, so we can be well suited for this game while watching it. Okay, but you guys need to know those stats, and you guys need to know what you're looking at. Oklahoma is a very good ball club. They're also there to win. They're not there to lose. All right, so a lot of you really, really need to understand it. But I love a lot of you guys. I'm just looking for the Aggies to bring something home, just as well as the Aggies themselves. We have something very, very special, and we're building something very special in College Station. We've seen a lot of we've seen a lot of our Aggies, a lot of our athletic Aggies get really, really close. This Squarian team, the women's tennis team, the golf teams, both sides. Buzz and what he's doing with the basketball team. Now we got up to the NIT title game. And we just haven't been able to really grasp it and bring it home like how we want to. I believe this baseball team will do that. And this baseball team is going to create a spark. As well as the other football team in which we've broken barriers with that #1 recruiting class. So once again, man, it's something very, very special that's going on in Aggie land. And if you guys are Aggies all across the nation, we're all a part of this. This is the decade to do it. It couldn't be a better shot at grabbing a title than this decade alone. I believe the baseball team starts that by winning the College World Series this year. But I love all of you guys. #IgMags.